Walter's got the fabric stash. Quilts are flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody. We are live. We think.
I think so.
I think we're live. With that, so we'll see here. I'm just checking my monitor to see if it comes up. There is a bit of a delay, as you know, between what we see, what you hear, everything. But let's see. Okay, should. Yes, we are. We are in live. So, okay, so who have we got with us? Right off the bat, number one, as usual, is Russ. And condolences to Russ. Because Percy is gone, unfortunately. May Percy rip and Percy. Yeah, we know what you're going through, for sure. Every time I hear someone losing a pet, I always think of the day we lost our Cleo. It still breaks me up, and it was 10 years ago. But on to nicer things. Nina is here. She's waiting for Stephen Walter live from the Queen City in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Caroline is here all the way from Sutton, Ontario. Julie's here. Hello, Julie. And Inez is here from The Rock, which those of you who don't know what we mean by The Rock, we mean Newfoundland. Who else here? Ellen from Benton, Arkansas. First time in chat. Oh, well, that's great. Nice to have you here, Alan. And Julie is making friends with a fellow Arkansasian. I don't know how that would be. Karen is here from Vancouver, USA. I guess you're having some fall-like weather there. Yeah, it's sort of a little cooler here today. Yeah. Who else? Kathy is here. And Beverly from North Carolina, and Suzanne is here, and Cynthia is here. Happy join. I can now go outside for Pacha. Okay. Well, it sounds like, Cynthia, you were recovering from your shoulder surgery. Well, and that's good. Glenna is here.
Physical therapy.
Oh, physical therapy. Okay. Oh, I get it. All right. Short forms. I don't get short forms. I just don't. Let's see. Who did I miss here? It jumped down on me. Bunch here. Jumped down quite a ways. So, Glenna is here from O'Fallon, Missouri. And Jen Dale is here. Jen's in Australia. And so it's Monday there. Monday morning. Charlotte is here. Karen B is here. Sue McKeon is here. Kim Davenport is here. Gloria. Sherry Cook. Alice. Diana is here. And Jean E. Moosley is here. And Sweet Granny is here. So, more people I'm sure will probably be joining in, like Melissa. Harvest here at Kyle, Saskatchewan. Yeah, it's harvest time, I guess. Another sign that fall is approaching very, very fast. It's not here yet. September 21st, or it might be sometime on September 20th. You never know. That's fall. Okay. I mean, let's not rush the summer any faster than it's already been going by. Susan's here. And so, well, we've got everybody here, and that is good. Weather here has been about 17 degrees C. We did go for a walk this afternoon. It's kind of weird. It got a little windy, it got a little cooler, got a little rain, got a little no more rain, a little bit of sun. It was weird.
Our weather app says no rain today, but we've been getting rain. So.
It lied. It's a liar. So, yeah, I guess fallish weather is approaching. But, you know, you can always look forward to Indian summer. Oh, I don't suppose
Aboriginal summer?
I don't know. Indigenous summer? I don't know. That hot spell that often happens at the beginning part of October or later. Yeah, whatever. You can't say anything anymore without it being like, that's not politically correct. So, whatever. You know what I mean.
Native summer.
Native summer, I guess. I don't know if they like the word native either. I'm not even sure about that these days. Tamala is here. And they say, oh, another Susan. Okay. We have lots of Sues on here. All right, so let's start off with what I've been working on. Well, I've been doing a whole lot of nothing. Well, what I mean by that, I've been working on... What are you looking at?
Well, I'm just looking at your printer.
Well, only this one's going.
Yeah, okay, no.
Okay, and hopefully they can't hear that. So let me get up here on the screen. All right, I'm not working very fast on this. This is the Stormy Sea quilt. Yeah, I've got 5 blocks done.
That's the same you had done last week.
No, I only had 4 done last week.
Okay.
I'm averaging 1 block a week, and I usually do those on the Sew with Steven Wednesdays with that. So I usually cut the fabric the day before, and yeah, well, the reason being is I'm still working on those tote bags, and I'll be working on those tote bags till Christmas, I swear. I mean, I'm now working on, I have 4 done. I'm working on number 5 now. Only 7 more after that to go. So yeah, and then I was printing all this stuff for it to go in these bags, and you'll get a chance to see those on my vlog tomorrow because I took some pictures of those. So that's really what I've been busy at, and I've been also working in between doing the bags. I've been doing some freestanding lace because I want to attach one of these to each bag. So I've got 4 different designs. The one with the gold on it, I decided to use it, make that 2 tones. And I started by trying some of the metallic thread, knowing that this was not going to work. And it worked for a little bit, but then the thread broke. And that's the problem with metallic threads. Mind you, the metallic threads that I have here, I've had here for quite a while. I think they were called Brother, but not associated with the company Brother that makes the sewing machines. It was something on Amazon I bought a few years ago, and well, it's probably cheap. Well, it was cheap, but metallic threads anyways are tricky to embroider with, I find sometimes.
Well, I've got metallic threads from on Phil.
And do they work okay?
Yeah, they seem to work okay.
Oh, maybe I should see. Have you got a gold one?
Yeah, I've got one if you want to.
Oh, maybe I should try that then. Because I've never bought any metallic threads, I don't think, for Brother, did I? Or from, actually, there might be some down, those ones are the Bro ones.
Which ones?
Down on the far rack under the scissors. But anyways, as we sort out my stuff, I'm not sure. But anyways, well, maybe I'll give yours a try. Do you put them on the horizontal or the vertical?
Vertical.
Oh, okay. Because I tried it on both, and
I don't have a horizontal.
Oh, what? On your embroidery machine?
On my embroidery machine, but not on my...
well, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Did you use them on your embroidery machine?
Yeah, I have. I've used it in the upright and the horizontal, but I haven't noticed any difference between the two.
Oh, project.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I haven't noticed any difference between the two. Sorry.
I don't know why you have such a problem with that, because under normal circumstances...
You're a loudmouth, so...
And you're an asshole. So what more do you want? I'd rather be a loudmouth. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at it. Anybody told me that...
No, they wouldn't, but you were starting to talk down into your shoes
sorry.
again. Like, give me a break. I don't think I have anything else up on there to show. No, so I can get rid of that screen. And we can go back to this screen. Okay, so let's see. Bonnie is here. Hello, Bonnie. And Colleen. And Parm is here. And thank you, Inez. So everybody's saying hello who just came in. So that's nice. Friendly group here. Which we always have a friendly group on Wednesdays and on Pop-Up Sew Days too. So I know.
So when do you not have a friendly group on?
When you're there. You're the only no. Everybody's always very friendly on all the pop-ups and all the Sewing with Steven Wednesdays. We never have a bad group. They're always lots of fun and very supportive. Would it be Bro thread? Yeah, actually, you're right. Embroidery thread. That's what it is, Barb. Yeah, I always called it Brother, but it's not. You're right. It's called Bro thread. And I got it from Amazon, and it's not so great. So, but... you know, that was when I first got into machine embroidery. And like everybody, when you get into these things and then you find out how much supplies are going to cost you, well, you tend to think twice and go for something a little cheaper. And, you know, sometimes it's not worth it at all. So, anyways, yeah. Well, I'll do some more experimenting with that. Okay, so what's Walter been working on? Japan.
Yeah, I've been doing Japanese research.
He thinks he's going. He thinks he's turning Japanese. So, what have you figured out so far?
Well, I've been looking at hotels and trying to figure out the best one to go to. So,
so he booked them all because they have cancellation policies. So,
yeah, I've got 3 books so far, and haven't decided which one
we're going to
We're going
in
to.
Tokyo with that. But also, didn't you say that you they have a limited number of hotel rooms in Tokyo?
Yeah, I was watching a video and they said that of all the capital cities around the world, per person, they have a lot less rooms per person than the average big city. For instance, it was an American that was doing it and said that they have about half the number of rooms that New York has. And it's a bigger city.
Yeah, how big is Toyota? Tokyo. Toyota's
if you
right
get
next to
all the
Honda.
greater areas around Tokyo plus the inside area, it's 35 million.
Holy crap.
And if you get just the central region of Tokyo, it's 13 million.
Okay, big city. Yeah. I guess that'll be the biggest city we've ever been to.
Yeah.
And we've been to New York and we've been to London and Hong Kong and some of the other big ones in the world too. But boy, this will be the biggest one. But anyway, so he's got that.
And their subway system looks even worse than Britain's one.
What do you mean by?
Well, I meant the number of lines that they have.
That's their chief means of getting around the city, I guess.
They have like 35 or 36 lines or something.
Oh, geez. But they're supposed to all run exactly on time. They're extremely clean. And apparently it's easy to figure out where you're going because they're all done like
They're all
London,
done in colors.
in color, like in
They're
London.
all done in colors, and they actually number all the train stops, so that if you've got to go to number 17.
Well, that might be easier.
And they do actually have non-Japanese names. They have like English names.
Oh,
And then they have the numbering system is English numbering system.
so that, and he's been figuring out. We have our flights already. He's changed that about 3 times. Keeps changing our seats, and we've got that. So the only thing that's really, it's not really a big worry, but I think we're going to find eating in Japan is going to be different from any place else we've ever been in the world. But having said that, it's probably going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
So
I
just
think it'll
stay
be
away from the
it's
seafood.
completely out of our comfort zone.
It is. This one's out of our comfort zone for sure. But anyways, we've wanted to go to Japan for quite a while, so we're going to do that now. Barb says, how long is the flight?
On the way there, it's about 13 and a half hours, and it's about 12 and a half hours on the way back.
Yeah.
And that's direct from Toronto.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a lengthy flight, but we've been on longer, as you know.
Yeah, we've been on longer.
With Australia, yeah.
I mean, usually Vancouver to Sydney, Australia is 14 hours. But we have to still get to Vancouver.
And that's 5 hours.
That's 5 hours
from Toronto.
From Toronto. So
yeah. Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi. And Lena is here. And I think I got everybody else. Okay. Welcome, all of you. All right. So that's what he's been working on. But Walter was also working on new glasses.
yeah, I've been having some trouble with one of my contacts, and so I found out that I have a dry eye. So I've been working on trying to correct that. And I thought, well, I better update my glasses if I have to switch out a little bit more often. I haven't had new glasses since 2016 is my last new pair of glasses. So I decided
9 years.
I should get new ones. So we went on Friday, and I picked out a pair of frames and took the plunge.
Took the plunge. Okay. Well, yep. And so looking at the glasses too, that didn't make him look like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, well, they kept trying to put these round ones on my face, and I'm going, no, I don't want to look like Harry Potter.
Oh, well, that seems to be the style.
Yeah, well, they wanted me to have. I couldn't go for too big of a lens because my I don't have the best eyesight in the world, so they would become very thick. So
keep them out of a forest on a sunny day.
So I had to get ones with a bit smaller lenses. So
yeah. So, and when are you getting those?
she said a week or a week and a half.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking something here. See if my okay, my commands are not all here. Yeah.
So show 25. What's that? No.
No, that's how many total
Okay,
shows.
yeah. Right.
But yeah, that's
Okay.
weird. That just
All right.
happened. I had other things on there today, and it disappeared. My pop-up. I have a bunch of other ones, and they kind of disappeared. I don't know why. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not that important.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's things with Nightbot.
Yeah. So I also got the most intense compression of all of them. So hopefully they won't be too thick.
Yeah. And how much are these glasses costing?
Oh, about $1,500.
Yeah. Well,
It's $300 for the frames, and the rest is lenses.
yeah, I know. Well, these ones I'm wearing were $1,300 at the time I got these. So yeah, the lenses cost you a lot. Plus, you're getting progressives,
Yeah.
and like you said, compressed too. So yeah, eyesight's not cheap for all of that. And of course,
And then on top of that, I wear contact lenses, so I pay for them too.
yeah. Inez says my nephew worked there 3 weeks there, 3 weeks home.
So,
I'm not sure if she means in Japan or in Toronto.
I think she meant Japan.
Yeah, must be. And Sue's here. Hi, Sue. And Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. So anyways, and the other thing is, okay, remember last week we were talking about, I said I will not subscribe to YouTube to avoid the ads as much as I find them annoying. Right after that's over with, find out, yeah, Walter subscribes to YouTube. He pays for it, so he doesn't get any ads. So why? So you don't get any ads.
Because I get tired of the ads.
Oh, okay, fine. So I've been using his, like, to see what the difference, and it is kind of nice, especially.
And you get to see your content faster.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm still not going to bite on that because it's okay.
Be kind to people who wear glasses.
What's this? This Russ says, be kind to people who wear glasses. They literally paid to see you.
Well, I can take them off and not see you.
Yeah, sometimes it's better that way. Yeah. But okay. Oh no. Yeah. And it says yes. It was Japan. Okay. And Barb says the frames are usually cheap. They get you on the lenses. Yeah, that's true, Barb.
Though I usually don't buy cheap frames. So.
Well, no, where we go to get our glasses, the cheap frames is not in their repertoire. Especially if the guy who owns the place, he's been doing this for like over 40 years or longer.
Yeah, actually, I got a pair of cheap frames from this place. It was $300.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know how much I paid for these frames. I think they were around that too. I think they were about $350 or something like that.
I paid actually frames haven't really gone up that much over the years because I remember buying pair of frames from Carl in the 70s and I paid $300.
That's the standard price. But Carl always has, this is the owner of the shop we go to, he always has
the most fashionable
ones in, which cost you. And he always likes to stick on your face when you come in the most fashionable ones well.
Put one on with me, some real weird one that had two colors and all this other stuff. So, and it was too Elton John for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like these ones. They don't have really any color. I like the clearness of them. They're almost invisible. Candace is here. Hi, Candace. Glennis says, Sue, hello. Great game yesterday. Oh, they're talking whatever.
Whatever.
Something. What is it? They have a a round ball and they hit it around 18 bases and then have to throw it over a goalpost.
Yeah.
And screen cricket. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, so that's what Walter's been up to. So announcements and things. Sewing with Stephen Wednesdays as usual, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. All are welcome. Links in the show notes. Pop Up Sew Day next Saturday. That is September the 13th. So this Saturday coming, because Walter's going to be off on his little sew day with his cronies. So I need to have entertainment. So pop-up sew day here. All are welcome as usual. Link is in the show notes today. When this goes up to rebroadcast, it'll be down in the show notes for you, and in everything I put up next week, it'll be there too. And if you've never come to a pop-up sew day, if you've been debating on it, well, friendly group, as I already said, very supportive. We have very little drama, if any at all. And we avoid drama, and we just go have a good time. So come have a good time, get caught up on some of those projects. Okay, so this week on So Chatty, if you saw it, we did based on a suggestion from one of our subscribers. Now, we've done these before, but we did it again, new things. Some of the things are overlaps from the last time we did it, but we did it so long ago, I'm sure nobody remembers. I don't remember from last week. So we did a few of our faves and hates on different pieces. And somebody wrote a comment that they said they were really happy that we gave our genuine opinions about stuff and that, you know, we weren't sponsored by any of the companies for any of the products we talked about. And that's very true. We are not sponsored on anything at any time. And yeah, we're not going to tell you we like something when we don't. And if we say there is something we really like, we tell you why. Yeah, our reviews are our opinion, of course, but they're an honest opinion from our experience with them. Heidi says, I had a very small head, so I have to buy petite frames. I could wear children's frames, but they don't have separate nose pieces, and they're not designed for us bifocal people. Oh, true. And Sue says, oh, she's talking about her nephew, Brett, who's on the football team for this, which is I don't know if you would call it, I guess it's semi-professional or pro. I'm not sure. There's rankings in it, but it's up there. I know that. Arta's here. Hello, Arta from sunny San Diego. So, let's see. What are we doing next week on So Chatty? It's already planned because we went to the Buckhorn Quilt Show yesterday. And yeah, that was...
Buckhorn is a community about an hour and 15 minutes north of us.
Tiny, tiny little place. Little
Tiny place that has like about one restaurant, a pizza place.
Yeah, and a liquor store.
A liquor store.
So what more do you need? Anyways, they had their community center. And I wasn't expecting a whole heck of a lot, but there was a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, it was suggested by a friend that sews.
Yeah.
And she said, it's sort of outdoor and indoor. And in my head, I was thinking of quilts hanging outside. But that wasn't exactly the way it was. It was different.
They had their main community center where the main quilt show was. But then they had all these little cabins kind of a thing that were kind of situated around, like,
behind the community center, there was these cabins. They looked like giant tool sheds.
Yeah.
And they were all over the place in behind this community center.
They weren't all over the place. That was organized.
Yeah,
they had a walkway.
Yeah,
you walk through one and out the door from the back of it. Like they were big doors to get into them. And and that's where the vendors were.
The vendors, and they'd also had some other quilts that were displayed.
Yeah,
they had in some of those.
Yeah, they had that too. So you just kind of walked the circuit, and yes, we did buy stuff. I didn't expect that I was going to buy anything, but $300 later, I'd bought some stuff. And we met, and I'm going to show all of that next week on So Chatty. I have a complete video of the whole event and all the things we're talking about here. And at the end of that, I'll be showing you the fabrics that I bought.
Yeah, I even bought some.
Yeah, I don't have pictures of yours.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bring it down. You can take it. It's they had laurel birch fabric, which I really like laurel birch. So
yeah. So yeah, we did spend some money, but other things too is when we went in to see the well, first of all, right when we were standing waiting to get tickets to go into this thing, this guy came up to us and looks at it and goes, You're the idiot quilter." And I went, "I am," and I'm glad he didn't just say the idiot. But and I said, "And this is Walter." He says, "Oh yeah, I recognize you too. We watch you all the time." I guess his wife or girlfriend. I'm not sure which it was.
and it was a wife. She said wife.
Well, he kind of hesitated when I said her last name as his when we were talking to them.
Well, actually, I think she might have her maiden name. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Well, he didn't seem to want to explain how that
Yeah.
worked. But anyways, very nice people, and they came up and spoke to us. And there were some other people that came up and spoke to us too. We were kind of surprised. We're a hit in Buckhorn. Well, there's nothing on TV, so what the hell? Yes, but whatever. But that it was nice that people came up and they spoke to us, and we talked to them, and some of the vendors as well. And yeah, it was a very pleasant thing. The quilts were gorgeous, and you'll see that. A lot of interesting stuff there. And Quilts of Valor were set up. And it was funny because I know the couple of the people who usually are at these events with the Quilts of Valor table. And I see two quilts. And my mind wasn't really working. Go, oh, those look familiar. I think I've done those type before. No, they were mine. They were using my quilts that I had donated as part of their display, which I was very flattered and honored by that. And there was another lady there. Her quilt was on display for the Quilts of Valor as well. And she, actually, I have her on video explaining it because it's not your usual Quilt of Valor. It's very bold colors.
And
like
almost rainbow colors in it. And like different shades of colors. Not really rainbow colors, but it was very multicolorful.
And there wasn't a maple leaf in sight on it.
No.
So usually the Quilts of Valor in Canada, we do use a lot of red and white, of course, and because those are our colors. And usually you try to fit in a maple leaf here or there or a symbol of Canada, right? Not that you're required to, but most people tend to go that way. Also because a lot of us buy the Northcott line of O Canada fabric that they've been producing for years. And make it out of that. But hers was very, very colorful. And actually she said, I think she had made it out of a strip pack that she'd had laying around or something.
Yeah, she did. She said she had a strip pack that was laying around. She made it out of that. And it was actually a sewing themed strip pack.
Yeah.
Because if you looked carefully at the fabric, there were all these different rainbowy type colors. In the pattern, in the fabric, there were notions in it. Like one had buttons in it, one had like spools of thread in it, one had like scissors in it. But it was in a very variegated, like it was like it would be a light green with dark green scissors on it and stuff like that. So it wasn't really obvious that there were notions on it.
Yeah. So it's almost like one of those I Spy quilts, that they make for kids in a sense, because from a distance you didn't notice that. And then when you got up close, you start to see all these little things. And it made you actually kind of study the quilt in more detail as well.
Yeah, and it had a black background. So, it made the colors pop. So
they really popped. So, yeah, so I was really thrilled that they had two of my quilts there on display for, as part of their booth. They aren't actually technically part of the quilt show. They're there as part of the Quilts of Valor's booth, to inform people what Quilts of Valor is all about, because they go to all the quilt shows in the area and things like that for that. So yeah, that was kind of fun. So meeting people, and we did talk to some of the people, and one of the ladies that I bought fabric from who was cutting it, I got talking to her, and she has a shop out of her home on the way to Ottawa, apparently. It was called, I have their business card right here. Young Vintage Fabrics. Jennifer Hamilton was her name. It's by appointment only, and she has her email address on it. And there's a map on the back of the business card. Bolingbrook Road, Maberley. Maberley. Which she said, she asked me if we ever go to Ottawa, and I said, well, we have, but we haven't done that in a long time. So, oh, she's up just past Sherbutt Lake.
Yeah.
Well, that's more, yeah, that's Kingston. It's north of Kingston. So it's a little closer to Kingston, I would say, than it is to Ottawa.
Well, if you're on the way to Ottawa.
Well,
I suppose
yeah.
if you're on Highway 7.
Well, it's before you get to Smith Falls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but anyways, there's your business card. Not that, I mean, if you're Americans, you're not going to deal, but if you're Canadian, you might want to.
Yeah, she has
check
some
it out.
interesting fabric.
I think she has a Facebook page. It's either a Facebook page or an Instagram. I don't know. But if you
Facebook.
If you do a search for Young Vintage Fabrics, you'll find something there. But actually, her prices were pretty good, and she had some nice fabrics in there. And I'm going to show you what I bought from her on next week's So Chatty. So yeah, it was a nice day, and then we had lunch on the canal because the Trent Severn Waterway, which is a canal system that crosses southern Ontario. I'm not sure where it starts. I think it empties into the St. Lawrence, and it starts. I'm not sure where it starts. Oh, it might be part. Well, it may be connected to the Welland Canal system and everything. It may go all the way around there. I don't know how that all works. Not being boat people, but the restaurant part we were at, their outdoor patio was right there. We could, and
right on Buckhorn Lake.
Right on Buckhorn Lake, yeah. So that was kind of nice, and it was a nice day to eat. It was a bit windy. You had to hang on to your napkin. But yeah, so it was actually a nice day. And then on the way back home, we dropped in on Annie's Quilt Shop, which is in a town east of us called Orono. It's not that far. We've been there before. But anyways, I'm looking for a palette of very unusual colors that, well, personally, I would never put them together. But my hairdresser kind of was hinting. You know, I make her something every year, and I've made her a couple of quilts and bags and stuff like that. Well, she's saying about this color palette she was really in love with, and it seemed to be, according to her, very trendy right now. And maybe it is. I hadn't heard of it. Sage green, aubergine, which is eggplant, so a deep purple kind of a thing, gold, and sort of a rusty orange in there. So yeah, I looked them up on the internet, looked like for color palette, and it does seem like it's a thing. Definitely out of my wheelhouse as far as colors. I would never thought of these. So when we were in Annie's, I said to her, well, that's the other problem. Sage green, a lot of different things called sage green. So I said at Annie's to, I think her name's Mary.
Yeah.
Said to her, it's not Annie.
No, actually, it is Annie.
Is it? Is it Annie? Oh, okay.
I was corrected by Karen that it was Annie.
Oh, okay. Well, must be the other lady that she has working there or something. Mary. Anyways, Annie, I said to her, so here's this color palette I'm looking for. You got the thing in sage green? Well, she took me over to where it was, and we did pick something that looks like it'll work. And I got the other fabrics as well. But they're not really prints that I bought. They have some texture to them. So I have to go down to Ultimate Sewing and see if I can. I'm going to take some of these fabrics with me and take some snippets and see if I can find some other things that have like some design to them and see how they will work. And then I got to figure out what the pattern's going to be. And yeah, and I want to keep it relatively simple too. I may just do stars with this. So
Mary said she just made a quilt with those colors.
Oh yeah, so this is a thing. I didn't know it was a thing, but it is. So let's see, she says just made a quilt for my best friend out of those colors. Turning 20 pattern. Oh, I may have to look that one up and see what that looks like. Turning 20. Okay. I'll write that down. But anyways, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, and then I bought this other fabric that I'm going to talk about or show you on next Friday on So Chatty. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. And there was a lady, she saw that I had this fabric waiting to get it cut. And she's, so what are you going to do with that? Ugh, that is the one question I absolutely hate. So I said to her, that's the one question I absolutely hate. And I think the way it came out of my mouth, I may have put her back a little bit. I said, no, no, no. I said, I don't know. It's pretty. That's how I buy fabric. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And I bought a panel to go with it. And you may have seen it. It's called Sunny in the Sunflowers. And it's this cat, and it's all these colors around it and everything. It's a very pretty panel. I don't know. I've started to become attracted to panels lately. And I used to avoid them like the plague. But I really like this one. I like the fabrics that go with it. I think I'll need a few other fabrics. And I was going to look up today and I forgot to. I know there is a pattern out there for this, using this panel as well. I'll have to go and look at it and see if I want to do that or do my own thing. But anyways, yeah, so we spent some money there.
Yeah, it's not been a good week for me. Airplane costs to Japan, new glasses, and fabric.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I had to buy more filament for my printers, and I had a little problem with one of my spools of filament, which basically was a waste of $30 because the spool opened up. And when that happens and your filament goes springing out from it because it's like a giant spring, you cannot rewind it. It's
that's the first time you've ever had
That's
a problem.
The first time, yes. And I have let Bamboo know because other people have had this problem too with their refills, which are a great idea as long as
they work.
If they work. Yeah, I wasn't really happy about that. But anyways, and so it was the one color I only had one spool of, and I'm using it right now for these Christmas things because of course it's red and I need red for Christmas things. So I ordered another one, but you know, I wanted free shipping and you have to order $65 or more to get free shipping. So I ordered $150 more with it, which doesn't take much to do in filament. But I'm going to talk about that on the vlog on Monday with pictures of my tangled filament as well. Okay, so that was the quilt show. All right, so you heard me talk last week on So Chatty about the problem with Hoop Sisters. And I bought the By George 3.0 ruler, trimmer, and they had a barcode in it, a QR code, to get a free pattern from their website to make what Walter's going to show you here. Make this. It's just a simple pouch to put the ruler in. You know, but it's free. So I didn't know if I'd ever make it, but it's free. So I went to the QR code and I got a 404, and I told you about that. So I wrote to them and said, you know, something's not working here and I can't find it on your site. Well, of course, Russ found it for me. And a couple of others of you found it. I don't know why I didn't find it. But nevertheless...
Because you're an idiot.
Anyways, the QR code came up 404. And they even had printed on the bottom of this, they had the link. And I put the link in, double checked it, triple checked it to make sure I put it in right, and I got a 404 on it. So I wrote to them about that and said, you know, this is the problem I'm having. Never heard a word from them. I sent them a second email 4 days later. I still haven't heard anything from them at all. This does not surprise me because I still stand on what I said on the So Chatty. Their customer service, in my experience, because I've dealt with them once before, sucks. It's bad. Now, maybe other people have had good luck with them. Maybe it's because I'm a Canadian and they're an American and they don't want to deal with us. I don't know. Whatever it is. But you know, would it have killed them to send me a simple thing with the right link? Well, Russ found it, and I got it.
And rubbed your nose in
And
it.
then, Russ rubbed my nose in it because he's a superior human being. Yeah, okay, I get that. But we do have a theory, and the theory is they may have changed actually the address of where it's located, but they didn't bother to tell anybody that. And that could be exactly it.
And that one thing where the scan, where it brings up the 404, there are things that they can do to forward it to the correct address.
Yeah. And would it have killed them to send me a quick little message saying, oh, sorry, we changed the address. Here's the one you need to go to. That's what ticks me off. It isn't the fact, like, the ironic part of all of this is I'm probably never going to make it anyways. My ruler hangs on a hook on the wall, you know, kind of a thing. And I do use it quite a bit because I've got the 2.0 version, and it's getting a little beat up now. And then when I saw over at Ultimate Sewing, they had the 3.0 version, which the only difference is the size of it. It's a little skinnier kind of a thing, and the markings might be a little clearer on it. So that's why I bought it. But it's not a cheap thing. It cost me $53 for the ruler. And so when you see that you're getting a freebie, you know, kind of offsets the price. You're thinking, well, I'm getting something anyways, extra out of this. So that's what pissed me off. All they need to do is send a quickie email and just say, oh, sorry here. But no, can't be bothered. Too busy, I guess, with customers who buy more than I do from them. So a few people have come in while we've been having this little rant. Sue says, always good to support your local economy. That's always my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Karen says Georgian Bay to the St. Lawrence is where the Trent Severn goes. Yeah. And Mary's here. Hi, Mary. She just made a quilt for my best friend out of... Oh, okay. We already talked about that. Pat's here. Hi, Pat. Just seeing who else. Dana said something earlier. Hi, Dana. I don't think I said hello to Dana, but I noticed Dana wrote something.
Greetings from Regina, Saskatoon, sunny and 24 degrees.
And frost 2 nights ago. Wow. And Barb...
Warmer than here.
Yeah, warmer than here. Barb said, apple trees are loaded with red apples. I usually pick them after a first frost in Calgary. Okay. So, well, it is... out in the west, they do tend to get colder faster than we do here in southern Ontario. Did I miss anybody else? Oh, Barb says, how long would it have taken the Hoop Sisters to answer simple email? Exactly, Barb.
You would think that they would, if they did, this would be a common request, that they would have something already set up to just do a quick email.
Yeah.
Like a...
Yeah, well,
standard form letter.
You know, I always say this, you've heard me say this many times before. The one thing that makes me a returning customer to any quilt shop online or in person is their customer service. I mean, they might cost me a little bit more. Like, okay, Annie's quilt shop. Her fabrics are more expensive than Ultimate Sewing. And I love Ultimate Sewing, and I love Ultimate Sewing not just for the price, but because the ladies at Ultimate Sewing always look after you. They're good, excellent service there. Well, Annie is excellent service too. She's friendly. She welcomes you in her store. I needed help finding sage green and that. She right
has
there.
Better hours.
Yeah, well, she does have better hours, than, at least on Saturdays. And that kind of thing. But I mean, that makes all the difference. So yes, I'm paying a couple of bucks more per meter for fabric from her, but I'm getting good service. So, you know,
she does have
good selection.
She has a different selection than, let's say, Ultimate Sewing. She
Well,
has
yeah.
some more premium fabrics.
Yes. There. So, I mean, every quilt store has its characteristics, right? So you can be loyal to several different quilt stores at the same time because they have different styles of what they hold in there. But, you know, something like this, as Barb said, how long would it have taken them to just rattle off a return email to me going, sorry, here's the link? And I would have been happy. Okay, that's great. But now,
Well, maybe they're a little too big for their britches because they're the only ones that make the trimmer by George.
well, I'll tell you something else about them though. Their quilt patterns that are in the hoop, because they're an in the hoop embroidery place. They are expensive as hell to buy the files, and they're not that nice in my opinion. Maybe other people would disagree with me and they absolutely love them, and you do you. Okay, but I am not impressed with them. Not at the price that they want. And first of all, I wouldn't order them. Well, I don't know if they're digital yet. There was a point in time where you only could get them like on a CD or something like that from them. And our local quilt store still has some of those hanging on the rack that have been gathering dust for a long time. They may have gone now because I haven't looked.
Yeah, because nowadays a lot of people don't have CD readers or anything like that on their computers.
So I would pretty much guess that if they're keeping up with the times, they're putting them up as, digital files that you can download with it. But they're overpriced, I think, for what they are. It's kind of like Kimberbell. Kimberbells, they're cute. They look like nice patterns in the whole bit, but they're expensive for what you get, in my opinion. And then they have all these add-ons. That's Kimberbell. But don't get me started on Kimberbell. I don't know what their customer service is like. I've never done a Kimberbell. I've looked at them, thought about it, but do I need another bench pillow? Because 9 out of 10 of their patterns are for bench pillows. So, how many do you need, really? How many benches does somebody have in their house? What, do you live in a church? Maybe. Heather's here. Dana says, thanks for setting up a pop-up soda day on my birthday. Well, you're welcome, Dana. I knew it was your birthday, and that's exactly why I did it. Yep.
September 13th.
Ooh. Well, that's not Friday the 13th.
No, not this year.
So, Dana, are you actually going to show up? He says, tongue-in-cheek. I'm joking with you, Dana. Yes, I am. Okay, so moving right on. Problems still with the bamboo printer, the new one. Not major. I'm still very happy with it. It's just that I'm going through customer service about a little technical problem. And you'll hear all about that on the vlog. If you're interested, you may want to skip over it. If you don't have a 3D printer, then you're not going to care. But anyways, I'll say one thing when we're talking about customer service. Bamboo's customer service is very good, and you have to remember they're in China. And so I write them, I fill out a help ticket. They send me back a message in the middle of the night, because it's their day there. And we've been going back and forth, and they've been making suggestions and things to try and fix it, but none of the suggestions so far have done that. But at least they're not giving up on me. And they're very nice, and the writing is not in broken English. It's in very understandable English. So, they've got people.
They've got AI.
Yeah, when you say AI. Oh, we're coming to that. That's today's topic. So anyways, if you want to know more about that, then check out the vlog tomorrow in that section when I talk about 3D printing. Okay. AI. Let's just catch up here and see if anybody read. Barb says her grandfather's birthday was on September the 13th. And Dana's probably about the same age. So Dana's going to be spitting her teeth at me. Dana says, I'm planning on spending the day with my quilty friends. Well, Dana, that's so nice that you are. We'll have to make a day really special for you. We'll start off by cutting off your leg and counting the rings just to see if you've been lying about your age. And we'll go from there. Yeah. Whole day's planned around that. Yeah. Okay. Scammers. Are they getting better at it? Lately, I have been getting an influx of scammer emails, scammer phone calls, and scammers on my doorstep. And I'm wondering to myself, okay, we've had scammers for quite a while. They're like an everyday occurrence kind of a thing for us. But lately, there seems to have been a real increase. and I blame it on AI. So I'm going to try something here. I want to know, first of all, have you ever, or will you admit to ever being scammed, like actually falling for one? And I'll tell you a story in a minute about mine, but I'm going to try and put something in here. I put this into Nightbot, and I don't know if Nightbot is going to, where's my Excel? To actually work. Let's see. Well, it usually takes it a second or two, but it may not. I set up a poll. Invalid parameters specified. Possible parameters, new results. Okay, never mind about that. Anyways, we'll just do this informally. If you've ever been scammed, just say you've been scammed in there, and we'll see what, if you want to reveal that. I'll tell you what happened to me in a moment when I come to that section. But first of all, scams are up. I did a search on the internet, and I found a very interesting article that talked about and said that, is that the one I want? Or where do I want it? Oh, yeah. Okay, this one is the article here. I copied it over for sake here about this. I found this on the internet. Ironically, I found it with AI. So here we go. So this is what I found. Yes, scams are increasing, with record financial losses in the United States for 2024 reaching $16.6 billion, according to the FBI, and significant global losses of over $1 trillion by scammers. The prevalence is high, with nearly all Americans viewing online scams as a major national problem, and a significant portion of the population experiencing an online scam or attack. Key trends include gamified job scams. I'm not sure what gamified job scams are, unless it's something like a competition to get a job or something, and you spin the wheel. The increased use of text messages and email for initial contact, and scams targeting older adults with specific life-saving narratives. So that's in a statistic for the United States from last year, but I think the statistics are probably very similar for us in Canada as well. So they're saying that the U.S. in 2024 online scams resulted in a record of $16.6 billion in losses, a 33% increase from the previous year. Global losses. Scammers globally stole over $1 trillion in the 12 months leading up to late 2024. And nearly all Americans consider online scams a national problem, and a large percentage have experienced some form of online scam or attack. And that's why I asked in the survey if any of you have been, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Trends in scams, sophisticated tactics. They're using increasingly sophisticated psychological trickery and tactics, including fake ads on social media and phishing links. So yeah, they are sophisticated, because when you get an email or you see something online, because they're using AI, it used to be able to tell because the English would be broken. It wouldn't necessarily identify you. You just become a dear client, dear customer, something like that. Those ones are still happening. But some of them are coming up with your name in them as well. And they're using logos and things that the AI plucks from the internet that are the actual logos of the companies or of banks or whatever, charitable institutions. Whereas before AI, they usually did a cut and paste. And so they'd be a little bit more grainy, or they would try to reproduce it in a graphics program. And so, if there'd be some misspellings of certain words or things like that. But with AI, it's making it much more difficult to determine. Now, these job scams, it says they've reported losses to job scams tripled between 2020 and 2023, with gamified or task-based job scams being a significant contributor. So a contributor. I think I know what they mean by that. They tell you can make as much as $2,000 or $3,000 a week or something like that, and all you have to do is like this or that. for it. And then they usually come back with you and say, okay, if you want to increase your earnings or something, you need to pay a fee to cover some kind of cost. And people, especially people who may not have a decent job or who are unemployed or whatever, or just somebody who wants to make more money, they get sucked right in with it because it sounds like you get paid for doing virtually very little. Preferred contact methods. Text messages and emails are becoming the primary way scammers initiate contact, replacing phone calls as the initial contact method. And that has increased over the last while. I'm getting text messages at least once a week or more. And like you said, don't you get some that go, hi?
I just get one, hi. Or do you have some time to talk to me?
Yeah.
Or I haven't heard from you in a long time. Send me a message back or something.
And the thing is, you can, in a weak moment, be taken in by that because you think it's a friend. But they don't identify their name. Or someone will say, hi, it's Mary. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Well, the chances are that you may know a Mary are pretty good because it's a common name, right? If they turned it around and said it's Letitia Boo Boo, that might be not as easy to scam you with that. So, and your first thing is, even out of curiosity, you don't have a last name. So you might go, well, you think in your head, well, I haven't heard from Mary somebody in a couple of years. Oh, this must be her. And they write, how are you doing? Then they've got you. Then they start working you over on that. Best to ignore. And of course, the targeting older adults, which many of us on here are. Scammers are increasingly targeting older adults with high loss schemes that involve claims of compromised accounts, linked crime, or computer security problems. And we've all heard those, and we've all had those come up in our email.
Yeah, like you've purchased something that you didn't purchase on your credit card. Yeah. And you need to call them.
Yeah. We need you to verify this. Press 1 or whatever. Yeah, that's how they get you. And of course, we've talked about how to avoid this kind of a thing or what to do. Don't press anything. Go to your account online to the legitimate account and go in and check it if you're worried.
And if you get a text from somebody, just ignore it. Don't try and do anything with it or anything, because as soon as you respond to it or something, then they know you have a valid number.
Yeah. And then it says here, how scammers operate imposter scams. A large number of scams involve imposters pretending to be legitimate authorities or companies such as the IRS, or here in Canada, the CRA, banks, or Amazon to trick victims into giving up information or money. If banks will not contact you, banks tell you this all the time. We do not contact you directly. If you think there's a problem, you contact the bank. The same with IRS and CRA. And these are the tricks where they say, yes, you've been reassessed and you owe us $5,000 and some odd dollars. Of course, the kicker at one point in time with that was they usually said you could pay in Amazon gift cards or in Walmart gift cards. Yeah, I don't think the IRS or CRA are taking gift cards for payment for back taxes. And then they talk here about AI integration. The rise of AI is making even more important to be skeptical of unsolicited contacts, especially those that try to create a sense of urgency or fear or offer unrealistic investments. And we're going to come back to this in a minute, but they often do. It said earlier about the psychological tricks they use. Well, one of those is to play on your emotions or make you feel that there's an urgency, the cops are on your doorstep, you're going to be killed, or something like that. They try to feed into your fears with that, like the IRS or CRA one. If you do not pay this immediately,
we'll be sending the police out to take you into custody. Yeah,
and stuff like that. And of course, if they play on elderly people who may not be, as in control of their finances as maybe people a little younger than that, or maybe they have somebody else who is looking like a son or a daughter who might be looking after their finances. And, they're not there at the moment the call comes through or the text message comes through or the email. And the older person panics right then and decides, instead of consulting
And then sometimes these people that get panicked will actually give them information
Yeah.
about themselves that they shouldn't be doing
And
by
then-
accident.
And they'll say things to like, now it's nothing to worry about, dear. We just need this money. We can help you with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's how they get their banking information and rip them off completely.
Yeah, let me verify your banking number. Is it like 1, 2, 3, 4? And then the person, oh no, you've got the wrong number. It's
Yeah.
actually this.
Yeah. So people have to watch out for that. But the other thing too here is then the emails and text message have increased to the point where when I get one, first thing I do is I look at the address it comes from, and right off, as soon as you see it, it is from Barbie Boo Boo at, chingching.com. Yeah.
Or they may even have something like the actual name of the company that they're say they are. One I got the other week was Pure Later, but it was spelt wrong.
Yeah.
It was a shipping company. And I go, wait a minute, it's spelt wrong. And the return information was spelt wrong. So that was obviously an obvious scam. But they play on the fact that you may have a package coming. And they're saying, well, we can't deliver your package. You'll have to give us some more information or something.
And the other tactic they're using is bombardment. You may get the same email about something, and they may make it a sense of urgency. We have sent you 3 emails about this already. This needs your attention now, or you're going to be taking legal action against you. And then, depending on who you are, that can make you panic and, then you're in trouble. But look at the address of it. And what I do is I've been trying to block them, but you can't. My email blocking service is full. It allows me 2,100 addresses to block. I'm full. I have to go in and remove a few to put more in. And it doesn't matter because they have an algorithm or whatever that just switches around all the time. It's never the same one twice, kind of a thing. So I just delete them now. I see them. Oh yeah, there they are. Bang. Bye-bye. So let's see. Who's been scammed or... Sue, she says she has been scammed. Pat says almost, but caught it before I lost money. The guy was really good. Oh yeah. Inez says, yes, I've been scammed to the price of a roof down payment, $1,000. Yeah, we're going to come to services in a minute, because when we think of scamming, we instantly think of the internet, of course, and email. But there's other types of scams out there that we're going
like there's one in Toronto not too long ago that had. Okay, we can do that.
Could you wait till we
Yes,
get to
we
that
can.
part?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I thought I'd like to go and see that movie. Oh, I saw it. Here's how it ends. Thank you, Walter. Spoiler alert. Inez says, however, my daughter hunted him down without any help from police, took him to court, and got back my money plus court costs. Ooh, good for her. And good for you. Russ says, I've not been scammed, and I wouldn't think you would be, Russ, but I'm helping a Nigerian prince get his rightful inheritance. Good one, Russ. Mary says, Inez, that was lucky. And then Inez says, he stood in my kitchen and told me to watch out for scammers. Oh, he was bold. Inez says, I trust no one. And isn't that a shame? This is what scammers have done to us. Now, we second guess everything that happens. We don't trust anybody, and that's not making it for a nice world. And right now, we're not living in a nice world. This is just contributing to the negativism. Lena says, almost recorded a text message that I thought was my friend. I almost received a text message that I thought was my friend, as it was her number, and texted back and forth. But when the scammer started that she was in Mexico, I knew it was a scammer. Yeah, those ones are hard because they can make them sometimes sound like it's somebody you know. And if they've got some pertinent information, like their number or something that they've been able to steal from something, then yeah, I guess it comes down to the point that even if they're a good friend of yours, you got to ask them some questions like, when's my birthday? When's your birthday? Where did we first meet? Heidi says, I looked it up. A gamified job scam is one that sets you up to do a simple, repetitive tasks in an app. You get little bonuses or in-game rewards as you complete the task. This sets up a dopamine hit. Oh, okay. And so it's sort of like gambling, and it hooks you in, and then that's where they start getting into more serious stuff where you're going to be giving them money for the privilege to play this little game. Lena says the scammer stated that she was stranded, needed money. Oh yeah, the old stranded one. And then Heidi says when you get the reward and even some small payouts, yeah, they build you up. And what Lena said too, I almost got scammed once too. If it hadn't been for Walter, I might have. I got a phone call. This is back a few years ago. I got a phone call where this guy came around and goes, "Hi." And I went, "Hi, who's this?" And he said, "You don't recognize your own nephew's voice?" And my mind went immediately to that this was one of my nephews, one of my brother's sons, and they're out west, and I hadn't seen them for a while. And I thought in my own mind, I immediately made a scenario. And that scenario, I didn't think twice about it. And I thought, he says, "Yeah, I'm in prison. I'm in jail." And I said, "What are you in jail for?" He says, "Well, I got caught on speeding. I was drunk driving."
Well, you first said, "Oh, is this Harrison?"
Yeah, I fell in the trap. He never said his name, and I said his name.
Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah, this is Harrison."
And then from there, it was like, well, he needed bail money. And I said, "Well, shouldn't you be contacting your father?" And he said, "No, that's not a good situation right now." Now, I started to believe that because I created another scenario in my head, because at the time, for things I'm not going to go into right now, but I was thinking, oh, this sounds believable. Okay. And of course, they're out west. All of his relatives and everything are here. Out.
Yeah, and I'm here overhearing his conversation, and I'm beginning to get suspicious.
And then apparently, yeah, I said, "Well, how do I get the money to you?" Well, he says they have a lawyer here, and he's going to contact you. And about it. So then Walter says, "No," the whole bit. So the lawyer did contact me within a few minutes.
And I asked him to ask them to what his middle name was.
What my nephew's middle name was and all that stuff. And then he hung up. But you see, and I was aware of these kind of scams, but for some reason, just at that moment in time, played on my emotions. I was having a weak moment in my logic and the whole bit, and I could have been scammed. Out of it.
It's called the grandparent scheme or whatever, or relative scheme.
Yeah.
And we hadn't heard about that scam until after
the fact.
The phone call.
Yeah, this is a few years ago now, but they're still using it. They're still using it.
Yeah, well, you had one a little while ago, and the guy says you're something about you. It's your grandson.
Oh yeah.
Well, we don't have any grandkids. So.
Yeah, I just hung up. Yeah, don't have any that I know of. Yeah. So, yeah. So let's see who else. Denise says, "I've not been scammed yet." Yet? Why, are you anticipating that you will be? "But my phone's been getting texts with just what you're saying." Yeah. Don't answer them.
Don't answer them. Ignore them, because as soon as you text them back, they know they have a valid number.
Yeah. And Heidi says on this gamified thing, they ask for you to pay something to get your next payment reward. It's based on the excitement of winning, exactly how any free game or video lottery module works. Yeah. That's the emotional thing.
And the other thing that's big now is romance scams.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. And I've seen some like 60 Minutes or things like that about these. I don't understand. And in most cases, it is women. And these guys are sucking them right in. Are they that lonely and have that low a self-esteem that some stranger says nice things to them, makes them think he's interested in them romantically, they never meet, and then they give him money, like thousands of dollars out of their life savings? Like,
But they, again, or what they're doing is they're building a scenario in
Yeah.
their head, and that this guy's like, apparently they'll send them flowers or
And
something
something.
like that, and they assume this person's real.
Yeah. I mean, that's a sad case. That's really a sad case when that kind of thing happens. Denise says Facebook too has been seeing a bunch of new friend requests. I ignore both text, emails, and Facebook. Yeah, I don't bother with Facebook anymore, and that's one of the reasons why. At one point in time, back in the early days of Facebook, anybody who wanted to be my friend could be my friend on
Yeah,
there.
actually, one thing you need to do with Facebook, if you have a Facebook, is go in and change it so that only your friends, your actual friends, can see
Yeah.
who you're talking to, and in actual fact, block it so that they can't see anybody, any of your friends on there. Because what they'll do is they'll go in and clone your Facebook page and then start sending fake messages to all your friends.
Facebook is just crap.
Yeah.
In this day and age, Facebook's done its time. It's become corrupted for many reasons. I mean, there's also all those Facebook marketplaces. You hear about people getting scammed on those, buying stuff. Some people luck out, other people don't. I don't think it's worth it. I just say no to Facebook, is what I say. Some people use it to stay in touch with their families. There's other ways. Email, FaceTime, things like that. So, and besides, I don't care what somebody ate last night for dinner. I really don't. I don't need to see pictures of it. Russ says, banks will not contact you. False. I've had my CC call me when fraud was found. I told them I'm not going to tell them any personal information they didn't want. They did confirm transactional. Maybe different in the States. They do not do that here in Canada.
Yeah, we don't have huge banks.
Yeah.
We don't tend to have any small banks there.
Yeah. But the banking system in the States, really, in comparison to the Canadian banking system, is weird. Very weird with it. Russ says, friend of mine had their Facebook hacked. Scammer said he was sick and needed money for medicine. I replied, you live 3 doors down. I'll be right there with chicken soup, as I texted the real guy. Did you? Because that might have been a scam on your part. Were you really going to take them chicken soup? Yeah. Barb says, I would have asked them which nephew. Yeah, true. Well, I have 3 nephews, so, but I don't know, just at the time, it's just so easy.
One stuck in our mind, so yeah, that was easy to do.
Yeah. Hi, Denise. Heidi says it's called catfishing and lots of men fall for it too. Yes, lots of men do fall for it as well. But there seems to be a higher percentage of females because the scammers are going for the females as opposed to the males.
There's been a lot of guys that have been young guys going to old guys.
Oh, well, that's a different kind of catfishing.
And then but there's like women too, young women.
Yeah.
With older men.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, I guess gold digger. So
Yeah.
Okay. Be interesting to know what the percentages are of all of that.
It just seems that the ones that we've seen advertised usually
the
ends up
ones,
being a woman.
yeah, okay, the ones you see on the media on 60 Minutes like that, they usually focus on women. So yeah, which I don't know. Maybe their stories are more interesting. Heidi says it's sad that people are so lonely. Yeah, that's what they're playing on. It is sad.
And it's awful that they're scamming these lonely people out of money.
Yeah, it is. Judy says, the best I've gotten is the text from FedEx saying, your package is stopped and I need to hit this link to get the info corrected. So dumb because I don't have any packages coming. Yeah, I know, but there'll be somebody out there that is expecting something from them. That's what they're doing.
Actually, I had one a few years ago. I had purchased a product from Apple, and it was coming. It was on its way to me, right? And all of a sudden I got a text message saying it was what was that, not Purelator,
FedEx.
no, the one we hate.
UPS.
That was UPS, and it had a proper logo and everything else, and it said your package from Apple can't be delivered unless you pay us $3.50. So here's the link to pay us $3.50. And I thought, well, wait a minute, Apple doesn't charge you any delivery fees, so that can't be right, right? So I looked for the scam, and it turned out it was a scam. And then somebody said, well, they responded because they contacted you via your phone number, right? And I looked into it, and when I got the package from Apple a couple of days later, I noticed Apple had put my phone number on the outside of the package. And because the phone number is in the outside of the package, somewhere in that processing from delivery through UPS, somebody had copied down the phone number.
Yeah.
So now when I have ordered since from Apple, and they don't do that anymore. They don't put the phone number on the outside of the package anymore.
Yeah. Denise says the latest thing is copying your voice, so you can't even answer telephone using natural voice. I don't answer if I don't recognize the telephone number. Let it go to voicemail. Phone says scam likely. Yeah. I do that too. When I look at the number. Well, first of all, if it doesn't come up with a name, I don't answer it at all. And if it comes up as a number, I just let it go to voicemail. And 9 times out of 10, there's no voicemail on it. Or lately, I've been getting voicemail messages, but they're all in Chinese. I have no idea what they're saying, but it's a scam. And Denise says the only exception is around time school gets out. Sometimes Gran's phone battery dies and has to use a schoolmate's. If phone rings more than 3 times, I pick it up and wait for caller to speak. Oh, okay, well, there's an interesting strategy too. Julie says my debit card number got hijacked after I used it at a gas pump. They got $4,000 from me. My bank did give me my money back. I never use it at a gas pump now. Yeah, they have these hidden card reader things sometimes. And see, here in Canada, a lot of our stuff is by tap. And tap is much more difficult it's encoded. They can't pick it up like they can if you swipe your card or stick it in the slot.
Yeah, that's why I've been using Apple Pay a lot for everything.
Yeah, but yeah, that's an old scam actually, where, especially if you went into like the convenience store part or you're paying your gas thing, or even in certain restaurants, they had another card reader that would, what do they call that? Skimmer. A skimmer.
And they have that on bank machines too.
Yes,
sometimes.
yes, on ATMs too. Barb says, I used to like watching YouTube channels where they challenge the scammers and lead them on. Yeah, there's some good channels with that. I mean, it's sort of cathartic, isn't it? You see them getting back at the scammers. But after a while, you watch and go, okay, yeah, they wouldn't be showing this if the people trying to get the scammers didn't win on it. So, and those are not tricks that are showing us what we can do as the average human being. These people that do this, that get the scammers, have sophisticated computer skills and technological know-how to be able to do what they do. It's on a very high level. Charlotte says, if you haven't seen it, you should watch the movie Beekeeper. Yes, I've seen that, and that's really good. Yeah, she's right. You should watch that, because there's a real scammer in there after this old lady. And Russ says, don't forget the texts that say your Netflix payment was declined. Oh, yeah, those because, well, I don't have Netflix. Oh, yeah, I've had a few of those. Yeah, there's a problem with your account. Your payment didn't go through.
Well, big deal, so I lose Netflix.
Yeah. Well, my payment goes through on my credit card, and it's easy for me to verify that. But yeah, again, I get those usually by email. I just look at where it's coming from at the top on my email. I have it set at verbose, so it shows me all the details of that. Pat Wainwright says, almost forgot you were on live. So hello to everyone, including Steve and Walter. Hello, Pat. And Russ says the latest gas station scam is scammers drilling the tap to pay out and putting a sticker over it. Makes it seem like tap isn't working to con people into using the skimmer. Oh, interesting. I haven't seen that one yet here, but it probably is somewhere here. if it's happening in the States, it's happening here too, because it's North America, you know. It's our one thing we have in common in North America. Not a hell of a lot of anything else these days, but we have that. So
then there was we were talking about there's contractor scams.
explain.
Oh, you know, where somebody goes, somebody hires a contractor or wants to hire a contractor for, let's say, getting a new roof or something like that. The contractor asks them for a very steep deposit. And so they actually give them the steep deposit because they'll say something like, oh, I'm really busy and I have 100 different jobs to do. And I want to know that you're committed to doing this job. So you give them a high payout for whatever you're doing for a job, and they never come back.
Well, we had something like that many, many years ago in our first house. So I'm talking over 30 years ago. We were having a deck put on the back of our house, and we hired this guy. At the time, we didn't have a whole lot of money for this, and he came and he was just starting in the business of doing this kind of thing. He claimed he was from the East Coast as well, and just moved to Ontario. He seemed like a nice guy. He seemed reasonable and everything, and he did start working on our deck. And then he wasn't showing up, and then one time when we were starting to get a little cross
Actually,
with
we
him.
didn't put any money down.
No, then that time we didn't put any money down. He we had a fall. Our backyard, he went down the side. We had our house was a 2-story in the time, but it had a walkout basement. So there was a hill. And suddenly we hear, when he was supposedly out there working, oh, my back. Came out, and he was laying down on his back on the grassy hill, and the grass was a little wet. And I said, well, are you okay? Oh, no, I slipped. I really hurt my back and everything like that. No, he, for some reason, didn't want to finish our job. And he, there was something to do with the materials too. Didn't he want some money for?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember what it was. And anyway, so basically, he was trying to say he's going to sue us.
Yeah, he was going to sue us and all this kind of stuff. We just laughed in our faces, said bye-bye, and ended up getting my brother-in-laws to finish our deck for us. But yeah, so I mean, those were in the days when the internet was still new. I'm talking that was back in the early 90s
before the
or 80s. Well, God, that was in the 80s.
Before the internet.
Yeah. So I mean, scam's nothing new. It's just a different way to use it.
Now we're try to be careful of who you hire.
Yeah. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Barb says, or a guy happens to be in your neighborhood and wants to inspect your roof or something. Yeah, and that brings me to services. Okay. You get during COVID, it was great. You didn't get people coming to your door. But now they come to your door again. So you get the ones who want to seal your driveway. Well, they are legit. You know, they do the job. They say, oh, we're doing several of the neighbors. And they are. You see them up there working and the whole bit. We don't get our driveway sealed because this basically doesn't do anything except make your driveway
we all have
black.
tar driveways here.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of people in America that have cement driveways, but we have tar driveways.
Yeah, well, not everybody, but a lot
of
us.
Pavement driveways.
Yeah. But anyways, so that's not really a scam in that way, but it's just a bother. But there's other services like
there are ones that scam and say there was a thing a few years ago where driveway sealers were coming around, but they weren't actually doing anything. They were taking your money, but then they disappear.
Well, the first thing is I won't give them any money up front for it. So, yeah, and you shouldn't.
No.
You're under no obligation to give anybody a deposit by law. There is no law that says you have to give a contractor X amount of dollars before they'll do the job. I mean, it's probably very standard in these industries for them to ask for that. But by law, you don't have to. Then again, of course, if you don't, then they're not going to do the job. Because in a sense, they're protecting themselves, too, to make sure you're legit. You know, that you're going to, at least they'll get part of their money if you try to stinge them. But you need to sign contracts. Of course, that means you got to figure out whether the contract is a legit contract too with that. So that doesn't really guarantee anything. But you do get ones who, the scammers that are really ones who come in and, we're going to give you a free roof inspection. And then they come back and tell you, oh yeah, there's this and that wrong with it and everything. And if you haven't been up on top of your roof checking it out for yourself, and you get to a certain age where you're probably not going to, because that would mean you'll fall and break a hip and then it's game over kind of a deal. And if they look like they're legit, you probably decide then, well, yeah, I should have this done. Of course, they're going to use the tactic to make you panic. Like, yeah, this is going to, down the road, if you don't get this attended to now, this is going to cause a lot of damage and it's going to cost a lot more money later. You need to nip it in the bud. And, it would be natural for most people at that point to go, ooh, this sounds serious. Ooh, I shouldn't let that go. So they'll get you like that. And then all the other things, they don't show up. You've paid them an astronomical amount of money up front for it. So yeah, that kind of thing. And then there's the ones that come around trying to sell you a service like, one I had yesterday. While we were at the Buckhorn Quilt Show, which is about an hour and a half away from where we live, the ring went off. You gotta love a ring for that. So I looked on my phone and I said to Walter, there's two guys at our door. They must be selling something. They looked like they were wearing a lanyard, with some kind of ID on it or whatever. Well, we're not home. So they tootled away. Fine. Thought that would be the end of it. They came back in the early evening when we were home. So I talked to them. And they're always, the new ploy of these people when they come to the door, they get real personal real fast and real friendly with you like they're your best friend. And they're going, hi, oh, I love your shirt. That's really blue. Good for you. You're not colorblind. I go, yeah, see that. So I said, yes, what can I do for you? They go, well, are you happy with your internet service and your and all of that? And who are you with? I said, yes, I'm very happy with them. And I said, I'm with Bell. And I said, I'm assuming you're from Rogers. Rogers is the only other major company in Canada that's
the competitor.
The competitor. So we only have really two main ones to pick from in this country. And I definitely won't go with Rogers because I hate them. But I said, yeah, no, I'm not interested in whatever you've got to peddle. Well, Rogers is so much better because it's faster and all this stuff. I said, yeah, no, I said, I'm happy with Bell. And I said, by the way, do you realize it's illegal for you guys to solicit door to door by Canadian law? No, it's not. I said, well, you might want to look it up, but I'm not interested. Have a nice day, gentlemen. Goodbye. And shut the door. Actually, it's not, but there was at one point.
It was during COVID.
During COVID. So, but I just thought, put a little doubt in their mind. But you get that. But there are, and I'm sure we've all had the people come to the door. What about charities? How do you know? Yeah, okay, lanyard, card. Everybody's wearing those these days. At one point in time, they might have a brochure or just be standing in the door. Hi, we represent this charity and, we do this, and that, and we're hoping for your support. But, they didn't show you any ID. But in those days, we didn't really question it like we do today. So now they wear the lanyard with their picture and everything like that. Well, the fact is they all wear those now. How do you know the ones that could be fake? It's easy to make a fake one. Anybody can do it. You got a printer, you can make one. I even have my own laminator. I could laminate it and look, and you can buy lanyards. I mean, you can make it look really official. And where is that money really going? What are they scamming? Personally, I think a lot of charities are scams in themselves, but they're legal scams in the sense that certain charities, and we've talked about this before, your money is not going where you think it's going. Only a small, very small portion of it is going to the actual thing to help starving kids or sick kids hospital or cancer patients or something like that. A great portion of it is going to administration fees. So there's a kind of scam that we don't think about every day. Personally, if I'm going to donate money to a charity, I'm going to go directly to the charity and give it to them. I'm not going to give it to somebody on my doorstep or by way of email or something like that. No, I'll go right to their offices and say, here.
Yeah. I also like to investigate the charity as to how much they have to pay for how much of that goes out to administration.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't care if a portion goes out that's a small portion, but when some of these big charities collect money, and you're finding out that 75% of it is going to administration. Like it's going to all the leaflets that they produce and all the people
CEO
they hire.
of the charity, the other people that are involved that get a paycheck from the charity, all that kind of thing. But here's a scam you may not have thought about. Religion. Jehovah's Witnesses were on my doorstep the other day. 2 nice ladies standing on the doorstep, little older ladies. They weren't young girls and everything. And I came to the door and go, hello, what can I do for you? I was pleasant. I go, hello, it's a beautiful day today. How are you? And I'm fine. And I said, I'll bet you're Jehovah's Witness, aren't you? Well, yes, we are. And I went, I'm not interested. You ladies have a nice day. And I shut the door. No, Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult. And when they're coming to your door, they are scamming you. Okay? Only they're scamming you on emotional basis and trying to get you into their church. And I put church in quotation marks for this. And, you know, churches don't run on hot air. They need money. And this is how they start to suck you in, make you feel like you're part of a group, of a community, that you're going to get into heaven by doing this. You know, they're going to save your soul. So I don't know how many people really ever thought about those kind of things as being a scam, but they are a scam. So where are all these scams? How are they getting away with them? Well, with the exception of the ones coming to the door, and even to a certain extent with them, if like they're making fake ID, they're using AI for this. And I found an article, and very quickly, that talks about how AI is used for this. They say voice cloning, which somebody's already mentioned on here. So, you know, the AI mimics a person's voice, often impersonating a distressed relative to solicit money or personal information. Then deep fake videos. Okay, the internet is full of these right now. You will see our Prime Minister of Canada talking about a new program where you can make a lot of money, or celebrities saying about cryptocurrency or stuff like that. These are AI generated. They are not the real people. And they're so good that if you watch their lips move when they're talking, sometimes it's very hard, unless you're a trained lip reader, to really see that the lips are not in sync with what's coming out of their mouth.
Like, oh, our Prime Minister is doing this investment, so maybe we should be doing it too.
Yeah. And then text and phishing. AI can create highly personalized and convincing phishing emails. That's what they're using now. And that's why it used to be you could check the grammar and you knew, okay, if it's broken English, this is a scammer. Well, AI does a really good job of writing proper English or whatever language. Common tactics, we've already talked about: urgency and fear. Mimicking trusted sources, you know, like impersonating family members or friends or well-known financial figures. They've even got ones I've seen, and these scammers really need to do their homework. They have Elon Musk doing a thing about investing in something or other, and you can make all this money. Right now, Elon Musk, I don't think anybody believes anything that would come out of Elon Musk's mouth, let alone, you know, whether it's the real person or the AI. And they just talk about all the things we've already talked about here as well. I like this one, though, especially when it comes to the financial one. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. You know, you don't get anything.
Yeah, like there was in the news a while back.
Oh, I forgot to put that up. I had all this on here and I forgot to put that
while back where they were getting people to invest in some cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
scheme, and some young guy was doing it, and he wasn't doing any investing. He was just taking the money and spending it.
Yeah, but he was an idiot because he posted all of this on YouTube, put up videos of his lavish lifestyle and the whole bit. That's how they caught him. So, yeah. Well, scammers can be stupid too.
And then you hear about people, oh, I put my life savings in this because they were told that they were going to get like a 50% return on their money.
Yeah. I mean, okay, what they're playing on is the get-rich-quick schemes with people. And we all like money, and we'd all like more of it. And that's what's being played on. And so, you know, some of these people, if they think they're going to make money overnight, the rich people in the world did not get rich overnight. They got rich because they were very clever at manipulating the financial world in their favor. And that took years and years and years with that. These quick rich schemes, they're not real. They don't happen. Most people realize that. So what's people saying here? We're getting near the end of our time.
I think we're about where
Back in the 90s, the guy came around.
Inez said the guy had delivered his equipment.
Oh, yeah, and disappeared overnight, yeah. And Heidi says, back in the late 90s, a guy came around selling insurance. He had a list of our neighbors who had claimed he had all bought that insurance. Yeah, I always love that.
So we've already sold this product to all your neighbors.
Yeah, your neighbor down here, they're getting the driveway ceiling and that, which is a lot of neighbors, like the idea of, well, keeping up with the Joneses or whatever, or peer pressure. Carol says, I had a guy come to my door a few weeks ago and got the I like your shirt comment. I was wearing a ratty old t-shirt. I have noticed this. They start off, once they come to your door, with a personal complimentary comment. Oh, I really love your shirt. I've had that one so many times. That one. Oh, I love your flower beds, you know, or whatever, that kind of thing. Just to suddenly warm up to you, you know, to make you think that, oh, well, this is a nice person. Barb says, anyone can print a card and stick it in a plastic cover, for sure. Didn't like me using the idiot word. Ironic. Oh, didn't it? I don't see where that came up.
Well, she didn't edit her, right? So.
Oh, okay. I guess it did. Okay. I thought that was turned off. I better check, because I had those things turned off for that kind of thing, because you know you can say anything you want here. I'll have to check into that. Where did I leave off? Years ago, Barb says, when my son was about 10, there was a couple of guys at the door wearing ties. My son announced that the FBI was at the door. Well, the Mormons do that too. So, what do you call a book club that's been stuck on the same book for years? Church. Oh, okay. Mary says, it's over 10% in min fee. I don't donate. I check them all. Yep. Good move on that one, Mary. And Heidi says, I've reported that Carney ad. It's enraging that YouTube hasn't acted on it yet. Well, you know, to a certain extent, yeah, YouTube's a scammer too. Think about it. Dana says, I check them all, and if it's over 10%, sorry, not. Heidi says, many wealthy people were clever enough to arrange rich parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Oh, yeah. Dana says, I watched Oprah a while, and my gut said, that's not Oprah. Red flag gut. Yeah, I've seen ones that have supposedly Oprah endorsing something. Yeah. Dana says, your shirts are wonderful. You scammer, Dana. Trying to get on my good side. Look, what more do you want? I'm having a pop-up so day for your birthday. Glenna says, I've been receiving emails from my political party wanting money. However, it's really my political party. I do not open them. Well, yeah, I've had those ones too. The political, I've had ones though from that they call you and can you help us out and stuff like that. And some of those are legit. They're actually fundraising, campaign, especially at campaign time and that. I don't give to any political party. No. They start off with, are you the homeowner? I always answer no, because I wouldn't be able to make a financial decision if I was a renter. Oh, yeah.
I like the ones they used to say, is the lady of the house in? And we'd say, you're talking to her.
Yeah.
That throw them off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the little lady. Oh, just a second, I'll get Walter. Oh, they hang up. Yeah, those were the old days when you got them by landline calls and stuff like that. But anyways, yep. So I'm sure there's a lot more we could say about all this stuff, but I guess the bottom line is this. Just you have to be skeptical about everything.
Yeah.
If you don't know the person well, and even if you do, they might be not realizing they're scamming you on behalf of somebody else.
I had a friend who had another friend she went out to lunch with, and she scammed her out of giving her PIN number for her card, her debit card, and the friend stole the debit card and tried to take money out of her bank account.
Yeah. So, yeah. Buyer beware, extremely aware, I guess, anymore. So, I wish our governments would do something about this, but the problem is, I don't think they can, except to warn us about whatever scams they've had or that are coming up that they've noticed or something like that, because the scammers are clever. They know how to manipulate the technology. And as soon as somebody puts something in place to stop it, they figure out another way to get at you. So
don't give them any money, and don't give them your personal information.
Yep. Don't trust anybody.
Sure. Anybody.
Till you see the white of their eyes. Yeah, kind of thing. Anyways, that's it for us today. So thank you for joining us. If you have topics that you would like us to explore here on our live, by all means, please put them in the comment section below or send us an email, because we'd love to look at things that you want to look at. Besides, I'm running out of ideas. So, that always helps. I mean, it makes it more interesting when we can engage you in the conversation with it. So, anyways, pop-up sew day on Saturday, sewing with me on Wednesday of this week, and stay tuned for what we put up next week as well. And we'll talk to you all again real soon. So, see you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.